Get started. This is a public comment meeting to allow anyone who would like to make any comment regarding the proposal for speed detection devices at the school zones to say whatever you'd like to say. So, floor is open for any comments regarding the school speed detection devices.
Hello, Kimberly Reckless. I live here in Gilmer County. Back from fresh from a vacation, a short vacation. As I've asked questions in the past about the who gets this information that's collected, where does it go to? Who is this third-party group, entity? What do they do with their information once it's in their hands? I think
The answer to your question is walking in.
I'm sorry.
The answer to your question is walking in the door.
Perfect. And I'm just expressing my concerns, and I hope to hear, I look forward to hearing his.
You're probably going to need to repeat the question for me.
To paraphrase myself, my concern is, as a private citizen, I have a right to be secure in my person, property, and papers. That right goes with me wherever I go, whether it's on foot, in my home, or in my vehicle. I take great concern with the idea of driving down the street to go to the grocery store, to have my personal information, my whereabouts, my travels on a daily basis collected by a party unknown to myself. And then after that, what is done with that information that's collected? And since there's no information to be had until the speaker from the police department comes up to answer, I think I'll just have to take my seat.
Okay, so the question is, who is going to be gathering this information and what will be done with it?
This information will only be received.
I hate to say it, but yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, everyone will be coming to me with a tape recording saying, what was he saying? What was he saying?
I'm Major Gobble, by the way, from the Sheriff's Office. The information you're concerned about, it's only going to be, they're not capturing that information every time you drive by the radar with a camera. It's for violators only. So if you're going through these school zones they'll be set out at certain times in the morning and afternoons. And if you're running, I think we're going to have it set up 11 miles over the speed limit, then what that does is it'll take a snapshot of your license plate, be sent to us. We verify all the information on it. We send it back to Op Traffic. They'll send out a civil citation. Does it go on your history or anything? This information is stored. I don't have the exact time. My printer was tore up. But it's stored just long enough for us to verify the information. And if you contest it, or if a violator contests it, they can come to court and contest it. The information is not sold to private entities for any other personal gain or benefit. It's all secure. We wouldn't be the first in the state to implement this. There's several agencies and sheriff's offices that are using this system. And at the end of the day, it's all about the safety of the children in the school zones and the individuals picking up their kids at the schools at those times in the morning and afternoon. We're not gaining or benefiting other than the safety of all the children and citizens. So I hope that answered your question. I just walked in and just trying to get my bearings. If you have another question, feel free to ask. That's what I'm here for.
Well, I'll leave it to the chairman to direct me how I should approach that.
Oh, But however you would
Can I come
like.
back to the microphone with a question?
You can come back to the microphone with a question. While she's walking up, let me ask you, though, we're talking about the timeframes that are printed on the little signs right now.
Yes, sir.
So, for instance, it'd be 7:15 to 8:15, and
It'll vary in school
2:45,
zones because they start at different times and get out at certain times, but it will be posted.
or whatever is posted on.
Correct. And it's just for that hour time frame.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your answers. And that does help to know. It certainly is reassuring, and certainly I don't think any of us have any qualms about public safety issues. You all are in over your heads over there at the Sheriff's Department. I'm sure you'd love to have all the help you can get enforcing traffic infractions like this. So that being said, I appreciate all of your answers. I would need to feel more comfortable with where that information goes once it's collected. And I know it ultimately ends up at the Sheriff's Department, and they know how much to send me a fine for, should I speak. And don't think for a minute this is because I like to speak about school zones. It's not about that. It's certainly a privacy issue. I'm concerned about who those individuals are, what laws apply to them as far as guarding and protecting my privacy, and what is and where it can go possibly from there. Now, the officer did say that that it was not going to be sold, and I will take his word on that. But you know, with all the privacy concerns in their nation today, hacking, vulnerabilities, I'd like to know what. I would need, in order to feel more comfortable, I'd like to know what happens with that information, where it goes, and how it's secured once it's there. Thank you.
The information that you're talking about is protected under GCIC. That means if we go out here and we just like your car because it's a Lamborghini, and we want to go buy that car, so we run your tag and we come offer you $1 million for your Lamborghini, well, that's a criminal offense. We go to jail for that, okay? And the same rules that apply to us and law enforcement applies to this company as well. As far as all the information is strictly monitored. That's why it comes to, one of the reasons that it comes to us for verification. When you go through stoplights in other areas, stoplight cameras, when you run a red light, all that information is captured and you get that citation in the mail. The concept is the same. And there again, it doesn't go out to any other, and I understand privacy issues, believe you me. I'm with you on that. Not sold. You never know when you're having your tag ran by an officer. You're driving down the road. We get behind a suspicious car at night on a back road, you may be lost. You never know that we run your tag unless you don't have insurance or stolen vehicle or something of that nature. So the concept would be the same. And there again, it's just a civil violation. And I hope that's answering your question a little bit better, because I do understand the privacy concerns, but at the Sheriff's Office, we're not going to do anything that's going to violate the citizens' privacy because, one, it's illegal. And the state monitors everything that we do. We have to have a reason to run a tag. A speeding violation is a violation, so we can run that tag. So I hope that answers it a little bit clear. I'm not
Just for the
sure.
record, I don't have a problem with you running my tag. I have a problem with a Chinese company running my
I
tag.
got you. And no,
okay.
they're not allowed. It's monitored by the state, period.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, staff, constituents, and Major for the Sheriff's Office. Maybe the Commissioner might know, is this cost neutral to the taxpayers? In other words, the equipment setup, the administration thereof, is it cost neutral?
Yes.
Okay. So no cost to the citizens of Gilmer County. Okay. Well, just a quick little personal story. My son was down in college in Florida in one of my cars. And down there in South, he was going to Florida Atlantic University down there in Boca Raton, Florida, and they got red light cameras everywhere. So I get this little notice in the mail that the car registered me ran through a red light. And he came back home on vacation. Dad, I swear I did not run through that, and I had it all set up and proper. because they send you the whole video. And there's this little black Chevy that he'll just roll through the red light, right there in Boca Raton, near the university. So that shut him down, you know. Sometimes I like shutting down college kids like that, you know, when they're trying to be smarter than me. So, you know, the prima facie evidence was there. And I can tell you on UConn, with the new school there, I've lived there for a while, and I can tell you, you know, running the garbage dump down there at Fire Station number 9, I've caught myself when it's 55 coming out of there and forgetting to slow down. And I think this is gonna be a good thing. If I get caught, I get caught. I gotta remember where I'm at and what time of day. And it drops to 35, I believe, in the school zone hours.
That's 35.
35 right there on UConn. So I think this is gonna be a good thing. I'm in favor of it. It used to be I was not. It used to be, you know, the officer had to identify the citizen via their identification and whatever the violation was, because it was a one-on-one. So there was a lot of pushback on that in some of the courts. I think it went all the way up to federal court level. And so I am now a proponent of it, because we can have our deputies, instead of sitting there running radar in front of the school zone and being assigned to the school zone where it's a problem, we can just, you know, the citizens are going, no, don't do it there. So I'm in favor of this. So if y'all vote on this, I would encourage you to vote yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I just want to voice my opinion. Say my name and everything?
Yes, please.
John D. Lorenzo, 783.
You don't have to give your address, but just.
Okay. Gilmer County. But I'm a little old school. I don't see why you just don't put an officer out there. You know, not a camera, a man, somebody you can look in the eyes, and somebody can say, hey, you're speeding. Pull over and take your ticket. But you go to Walmart anymore, they want you to check yourself out. They're gonna do a closing in a couple of days. They wanna do it over the internet. Oh, you gotta look somebody in the eye, you gotta shake their hand, you gotta be there, you gotta be human. And that takes the whole human experience out of it, if you ask me. That's why I don't go along with it. It's Big Brother's taken over, it seems. I mean, you know, you got people. Hire some more people. Expand the budget.
I've got a feeling the sheriff would be willing to do that.
I'll bet.
I can guarantee you, sir. The problem, and I agree, here lies a problem with the times that we're in now. People don't want to work. We can't find people to do this job, law enforcement specifically. Not in this area, because we're blessed to live in these mountains where we have support of the citizens like are in this room today. And we can agree to disagree on everything that's talked about in this room. But we have to utilize a lot of times the resources that we have at our disposal to help benefit you, the citizens, and the people in the county. SROs assigned to the school, we just don't have, our call volume has gone up drastically over the past several years. They're short on the road. We're short in the schools with SROs. We're short here at staff court services. We're short in the jail. And it's not that we would love to be sitting out there an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon, but we don't have the manpower and the time to be able to do that. So our next step would be to utilize technology and that resource as a tool for our tool belt, as we call it, to assist us. And as far as these citations, if you were to receive one as an individual, it's your right to come in to the court and challenge that ticket and have that officer there if you would like. And so you can still see the officer. That way this will work is when you get that citation in the mail, it's being reviewed by a sergeant in the SRO unit. He'll sign off on the approval, okay? And we can come to court and testify. You can speak to the officer, whatever you feel like you need to do. I agree with what you're saying about the personality and all that, the person contact. But we're not in time and era or this time frame that we're in now is not like it was old school. And believe me, I've been in this almost 30 years, so I can relate to what you're saying. 100%. Technology, we have to use it when we can. And I'm not a techno person by no means. Okay? So I hope that answered your question and put your ease of mind a little bit better. If not, then that's okay too, because we can agree to disagree on everything we talk about this system.
It answers my question, but it makes me feel sad.
I agree.
I hate to see it.
I understand,
I hate to see
100%.
it go this way.
Understand.
Any other comments that anyone would like to make?
Can I ask another question, Mr. Chair?
Sure.
Major, is this using laser or radar technology
It will be,
for speed measurement?
to the best of my knowledge, it will be radar.
Okay. All right. Because I think we know laser is always target specific.
Correct.
And so they would have to be, is this video or is there video within the violation? Or
Yes, there's video.
So then the sergeant, the SRO sergeant, then what they would do is they would review to make sure it wasn't picking up another vehicle or,
Correct.
you know, okay, all right.
And we're in the process, just so everyone here knows, of getting all the correct signage up, so it'll be posted. We're gonna advertise this if it's voted on today or whenever. It'll be advertised for a sufficient amount of time, and all the parents in the schools will get notifications, be sent home with them, as well as the citizens of the county who live out in those areas, just to make them aware. And I think right now it's gonna be about a 2 to 3 week, two week advertisement, if this is implemented.
Major, if I could make a suggestion, if y'all have any really good experienced radar officers that go out there and occasionally use your tuning forks there and make sure that they're within a certain speed, because if they're just left out there to sit alone, and I think what's gonna happen is y'all might get beaten up by the
That's-
really good traffic lawyers in the
That's
county.
part of, that's one of the good things about this system. They take care of all that, and they keep up with all the documentation.
Okay, good. All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Any other comments that anyone would like to make? Think we'll be okay? All right. All right, if there are no other comments, then I will make a motion that this public comment meeting be adjourned. Second. All in favor? Aye. Now, our regular meeting will start in 10 minutes, so. All right.
Let us get in trouble.
You mentioned.
Oh,